Hi guys, it's Kimberly. Welcome back to the Twin Flame family. Thanks to the new subscribers. Welcome. And for those of you who aren't as familiar with what I do, I am a soul coach and a Twin Flame teacher and reader. And I work with Twin Flames as well as those along the ascension path. And we work in many different capacities. So I post these videos on a weekly basis. I also have a website. It's thetwinflamefamily.com. And you can work with me in private session for either a reading and guidance session or in a soul coaching capacity. And all those services are under schedule session. You can read about them. And if you have any questions, just let me know. I also hold group workshops once a month via tele and video conference. And the next one coming up is August 8th, and that is sold out. So that's every month I hold the Transforming Your Wounded Warrior into a Divine Feminine Goddess workshop. And often I'll throw in other classes into the mix. So stay tuned for that. For about a year now, I have been hosting free support group calls for Twin Flames, and they have lessened in frequency just due to busy schedules, but I still try to hold them once per month. And our next one is actually tonight, which is July 27th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're interested in getting that information, if you wanted to join in on the calls, please just go to my website and click on the subscribe button, like subscribe to my email list or my newsletter, and I'll get you the information. So beyond that, I post the collective energy readings for Twin Flames. It's just kind of reading the overall energy for the collective, where we're at right now, what's up ahead. To my subscribers, I recently emailed out an energy update for this eclipse season that we're in that began on July 23rd and extends through September 6th. And I kind of had a channeled message for both the Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine. And I posted that Constant Contact email. I posted that channel message also on the Twin Flame Family Facebook page. So if you're interested in reading that, go to facebook.com/thetwinflamefamily and just look at the most recent post, which is that email from Constant Contact. That'll have that full channel message. May have some valuable insights for you. So digging into what's happening for the masculine and feminine energies on the planet right now, I'm going to start with the feminine. This is a time where the feminine is stepping into greater creative expression and greater verbal expression. And this is all about her connecting with her divine feminine energies. She's showing up as the Empress this week. And the Empress is all about us claiming our feminine power, being rooted and grounded in it. Not just, claiming it and then like skyrocketing off into the sky with all of this energy. It's really about really turning it into something that's practical for us. So it's not just some intangible thing that, we've been asking for months, how do I claim that feminine power? How do I work that into my daily life? And I feel like she's really starting to do that. Okay, so if you're the Divine Feminine watching this video and you've been guided to step further onto your mission or develop some sort of a creative project, or if things are just becoming clearer around what your mission is, or if you're just feeling the spark of inspiration right now, there is no doubt that is a product of this Leo new moon, this action energy. But the action is basically just inspiring us to step into this creation energy. And that creation energy is helping you bring your visions to life. So what I'm finding working with my clients in private is I've had so many of you reach out to me over the past week and say, oh my God, my website's up, or I developed, the logo, or I know what the brand is, or I know how I'm going to do this, or I titled the book, and I'm out there taking photography for it, or I'm starting to write the book, or I'm oh my God, I'm so excited, and there's just like this invigoration around it. And so I would assume that if more than a handful of you are reaching out to me about this, and these are clients I've been working with almost all year that are just coming into their own right now. It's getting clear for them. They're actually out there doing it. It's gelling. It's coming into tangible form. And these are even things that, let's just say, she didn't know 2 months ago, or didn't know what direction to take with it 2 or 3 months ago. And now it's coming to fruition in such a crazy way. It almost feels it's like swift. It's rapid manifestation. It feels good. It's charging her, and it's like a whole new focus, and it's breathing life into her. So feminine, keep going with that. Archangel Michael is coming in and saying you can do it, and 100%. And you already know this because you feel the energy behind it. And Paul the Venetian is here in the advice cards with artistic expression. And look how similar even these cards look in their colors. And it's really, this is the message for the feminine. It's about claiming your creative expression. It's stepping into your creation energy. It's being the magician and bringing things to life. It's, you can do this. Keep going. It's like they're saying, you go, girl, because this is coming to life in a way that you haven't reached yet this year, and it's huge. Now, along with that is, I want you to recognize that this is an ability to express ourselves in a different way. Like you're channeling your expression through something creative, or through this new venture, or this new project that you're bringing to life. But there's another aspect of expression that's coming up for the divine feminine that I feel like is so, so, so important. And it's showing up in the reading, crowning the feminine as the throat chakra. This is very much about clearing the blocks that we've had in our throat chakra and coming into the fullness of our expression, which again is one of the big divine feminine qualities that some of us struggle to harness. So I want to talk a bit about that. So basically, as the divine feminine, why do we suck at expressing from our hearts? Why do we suck at stepping into the fullness of our expression? Not all of us, but many of us have blocks here. So I want to point you back to your childhood and back to core wounds. Most of us, not all, but most of us have some sort of a core wound around expression. And it may be that we're really great and articulate in our daily lives, but we suck at expressing what's in our heart. We have spent many years not stepping into the fullness of our expression, or not being able to express fully our emotions. And so as a result, we're out of practice. We don't feel comfortable. It's a place of fear for us. So why is that? So for many of us, something has happened in our childhood, whether it be with our parental figures, with older siblings. It could have been a memory that you have around feeling embarrassed. It could be a habitual patterning of our parents shutting down our voice. So whether they told us, no, that's stupid, or like, often when we're young children, especially for you empaths out there, you were chattering about kind of all-knowing things, spiritual things, or maybe you were like the black sheep in your family and said things that didn't fall in line with some of those conservative views that your parents held, or maybe your all-knowingness threatened your parental figures in some way, so they quickly silenced you. No, that's stupid. No, you don't know what you're talking about. Keep that to yourself. Or maybe they, laughed at you or made fun of you. And that could be from siblings as well, right? Like, you're stupid, go away. Or you don't know what you're talking about. So it was at that point in our development that we developed a belief that what I have to say is not relevant, or what I have to express is stupid, or I need to hold that in because it's not going to be accepted. And so it was through that rejection, that non-acceptance, that feeling embarrassed or whatever it is, that we formed a belief that it's not okay to express. For if we do, we will be shut down, embarrassed, suppressed, rejected. And I want you to just think back about that, because often if we just, as I always say, if we just reach back, that memory comes forward. And usually whatever memories come up, whether it's in our teenage years, if that happens, think back, try to think back further, like what happened also in childhood, because usually it just keeps reoccurring, right? And so we're seeing the patterns sometimes in our adult relationships, right? Where a partner will reject what we have to say or make us feel stupid or won't reciprocate what we express. So we feel the need to pull back or hold it in. And the message for you is around, this is a time of stepping in, of being courageous, okay? It's so many of the clients that I work with do have this wound. And I always recommend, before you start expressing verbally, sit down and write out your emotions and the things that are kind of caught up in your heart chakra, those things that are caught in there and caught right here, where you haven't been able to articulate them. Start to write them out so you get used to seeing them, and then read it back to yourself, because that's part of this, is like you accepting what your feelings are, you acknowledging, you giving yourself permission to express. That's the first step, honestly. And once you get used to that, you can even verbally record yourself expressing, like, we all have like the voice memos on our smartphone. You may want to practice. You may want to practice in a mirror. You may just want to read aloud what you've written down, just so you get accustomed to hearing yourself step into the fullness of expression, because much of this is us rejecting ourselves, right? From that core wound, we're rejecting ourselves. We're saying, I don't have the right to express fully, or if I do, it's going to sound stupid. And we're truly out of practice. So what's coming up for Twin Flames right now is those of you who will have contact, are in contact over the next month, or where contact's going to come up, you're going to have an opportunity to express in a way you haven't either ever or in many years. And it is going to benefit the dynamic in the 3D for you to express fully and from your heart. It is an expression of vulnerability that is going to heal the dynamic. This is can truly be scary for some of you. But it's what the guides are saying, and what the message that I'm channeling is, the risk is greater than the reward. Like it's worth taking the risk. And you will actually be rewarded. I'm seeing positive reinforcement. I'm seeing the masculine twin flames opening up. And if you are a masculine embodiment who identifies with the feminine energy, this, again, it applies for anyone who is identifying with the feminine energy, because this is a time to express, to not hold back, to show vulnerability. And I think many of you have worked very hard at clearing out judgments, realizing where you project, stepping into your feminine power so that the false masculine can fall away. And so many of our masculine twins have mirrored back to us that they don't like our false masculine energy, right? It's too harsh for them. We come in with swords, or we're threatening, or we're declaring. And this show of vulnerability, although it is scary, it is going to open up the platform for a very truthful conversation. And even if this is not leading to union yet, that is totally irrelevant right now. It is most important for the twins to be able to step into the fullness of expression and express from their heart chakras and open up a communication and overcome challenges that you haven't been able to overcome right now or to date. And you're actually going to start to overcome them now. I'm seeing this in my own twin flame dynamic. And then yesterday, somebody reached out to me and she sent me a really great note about pretty much the same thing happening in her dynamic. And she's saying, this is unbelievable. Like, it feels surreal because it's like these challenges that we couldn't overcome before are being overcome because there is a truth here. There is a fullness of expression. There's an exposure of vulnerability. The masculine is at a point where he's ready to show this now, okay? He's ready to receive it in a new way, and he's ready to expose his vulnerability and open up in a more honest conversation. So it's very, very, very interesting how just the divine feminine, those of the divine feminine in the collective that have really been working on doing their work. I mean, this is the whole new way of claiming her femininity, and it's really beautiful. And the message is, don't hold back. Okay, so don't hold back. Ride the momentum of the creative energy. Notice, give yourself a pat on the back for how well you're doing at claiming your divine feminine power, and work on clearing this block here in the throat chakra, because it's time to express and to be rewarded for it, so we can develop a new belief that is one of encouragement, positive reinforcement around this ability to express our truth, our emotion. So yeah, very good. With the masculine. So the masculine is, he's got some fear coming up here this week. And they're showing it to me through the Five of Pentacles, which we know what this is. It's that feeling of, that fear of abandonment, feeling of, oh no, I'm going to get left out in the cold. But they're saying with him also, the risk is greater than the reward. He's willing to take the risk to open up to her, to open up to the feminine. He's also willing to, this is a fear that I feel he's overcoming right now. This is about what I've been talking about in my recent readings and videos about stepping into his truth, and whether it's leaving that karmic relationship that no longer serves him, or if it's just, like I said, finding the more authentic career path, or just standing his ground in a way that he hasn't been able to, because it's really about truth. And he is focused on finding happiness. That is the reward for him. That is what he's holding as paramount. And it's coming up over him as the power of joy, okay? And I love the rainbow energy here. And this is about him really overcoming the fears so that he can find his truth and locate that happiness within himself. That's what's going to help him step beyond the blocks that he's had in the past. These fears, this fear of abandonment, this fear of around judgment. And this is coming up bottom of the deck. And we've been seeing this a lot in my readings lately. And this is still, like, for the feminine, it's about trusting in the divine orchestration. It's about allowing things to just fall into place and not needing to control. And for the masculine, this is very much about releasing the expectations of others and the judgment of others and going on his own path. He's asking himself, what are my priorities? Okay? King Solomon, what are my priorities is the question that the masculine is asking himself. And right now, it just feels like truth and happiness are paramount. That's the realization that he's coming to. Okay, but given this, going back to the present energy with him, this didn't come up. It's like, I'm not here to graze over this because it is a relevant fear. It's still active there. He's overcoming it. And you may see him still shield himself, okay? And you may see it's coming up above him too. Shield yourself, okay? So I think the thing about the feminine stepping in a more heart-centered way and a more truthful way, it's what's necessary to open up the masculine. If you come at him with a sword in your hand, because this is coming up underneath for both, this is the shared energy for both, and it's saying if you come at him with the sword in your hand, or it's not going to be received. It's not going to open up the platform for communication. And he's still a bit concerned about this protecting himself. And in order to overcome this, it's going to have to feel like a very safe space, at least in terms of the twins, in terms of communication, in terms of that. And even if you're not in 3D contact, try to create that safe space just energetically in the 5D, like that all loving, all accepting. You're safe, you're not judged. It's the empathy, it's the compassion, it's the you can create that in the 5D and it will be felt. So the masculine, underneath the masculine, the Angels card is coming up. It is showing us that his angels are around him right now. He's receiving signs in a huge way, you guys, more than ever. So all of you who ask me, is the masculine receiving signs like I am? And I always tell you, well, yes, he is. Is he noticing them? Not always. And so the masculine's coming out of this dark night of the soul, all this ego-based energy and low vibrational activity and behaviors. And as he segues out of this, there's a big opening right now where his heart's opening. He's overcoming these fears. He's stepping into more truth. It's surging in for him. And as that happens, he's got spirit guides around him. He's got angels around him, and he is getting the signs right now. Trust in that and know that. I feel very much as though, and I've seen it in my own connection, that the signs that you're getting are the signs that he's getting, and he's actually seeing them. He's actually awakened enough to receive them right now. He may not know exactly what they mean, but he's getting them. And that's a really beautiful thing. So underneath, I'll go back to the feminine. Underneath for the feminine is this medicine man, medicine woman card. And this is still about her divine feminine powers of healing and her ability to impact others through her healing capacity, through owning her powers. The shared energy for the twins, and it's coming up. I love it. It's the 8 of Cups, and we have the eclipse here, okay? And it's the 8 months, so we're getting August, and we're getting this sun and moon. And look at this. This is that feeling of like, oh my God, it's too much. I just want to turn and walk away. Like I'm going to go seek something new because this is too much, and the energy between us is too much. Or it could be that there's like a communication of truth or a fullness of expression, and you're like, no, this is too good to be true. Or I'm going to, go back into my old ways and shield myself. Or I'm going to, go back into my fears. And they're saying, no, turn and face it. Turn and face it, because above this is a new beginning. And it's the Ace of Cups. And that's what there's a platform being set up for this new beginning. And it's a good new beginning. It's a beginning of new understanding, unconditional love in a way that we have not accessed yet, that we have not been able to access yet because of our own wounds and fears. And we're coming into this right now. This feels to me like August, like we're still going to have that tendency to want to run from it, but there's just so much truth coming through for both twin flames, for both the divine feminine and divine masculine. And it's creating a platform. This is, I feel like, September through December for new beginnings, starting anew. Some of this is going to require releasing resentments, releasing things that have happened in the past with the twins. And this can be very difficult for some of you because we're taught to hold on to resentments. We struggle with not bringing the past into the present. And many of us are so fixated on the past, like what's happened, what he did, what she said, all the wrongs, all the hurts and everything. And then we're also fixated on the future, what we want, that fantasy, that a dream world, that union, that, and what they're saying is be in the now, recognize that nothing in the past is going to influence the future other than your life experience and what you've learned and the growth and everything that you've taken from your experiences of the past. But the hurts and the resentments, let that all go. Because if you are able to clean the slate right now and really let that go, those resentments, those hurts, that tendency that we have to throw that sword against the other person and say, well, you did this and you did that. It's like, no, in order to have this new beginning, in order to be successful at this rebuilding, these new cups being full and this new beginning, we got to let it go. We've got to let it go. And again, this is about taking that risk. It's taking a risk. This whole reading is about that. Taking the risk, being vulnerable, stepping into our truth, dropping our swords, knowing that happiness is paramount. And if we don't take that step into our vulnerability, into our truth, we may never allow ourselves to access this joy because we'll hold ourselves in a place of fear, of running away from what's right in front of us, of shielding ourselves, right? We don't want to shield anymore. We don't want to hold in all this stuff. They're saying, both feminine and masculine, step into your heart center. Step into your truth. This is the time. What is here for the reward in front of us is a new beginning, and it's better than you could ever imagine. And that means a new beginning within yourself and within the dynamic and the connection. So I want to remind you that it's worth it. It's worth it. One of the things that we struggle with the most is protecting ourselves, right? Like we all want to protect ourselves from the hurt. We're so busy shielding ourselves and tying ourselves to old beliefs and old ways of being and trying to block out getting hurt, that we're not able to step into that fullness of expression or that heart-centered place or just to love and to be in the now. We're so worried about what's happened in the past or protecting ourselves from the future. So the biggest message that I can bestow upon you for the present energies is take the risk, be vulnerable, step into your truth, and know that it's going to be rewarded. Like, I feel like tenfold it's going to be rewarded. And not only are you going to step into greater power within yourself, but it's going to be rewarded in the healing of this dynamic. And I will leave you with that. And I hope that was that resonated for you and it was some sort of a powerful message. Even if it's not the whole thing that resonates, take the pieces that resonate for you. As I always say, when you're watching anyone's videos or any teacher's, if you're reading any book or if you're watching any YouTube video or working with any teacher or healer, take the piece that resonates for you. You know your truth. So I'll leave you with that. I hope you have a wonderful week and I'll see you guys soon. Okay, take care. Bye. Mwah.